see, and some of them I will just skip past. But I want to get cracking. If you want to know more about me, look me up, because then we can save some time rather than me standing here telling you what to do. I'm going to tell you one thing about me, and that is every lunchtime in the UK, we post what we call lunchtime lessons. They're very short extracts of research or concepts that we work on. We've been doing it for probably about the best part of 7-8 months. We do reasonably well in terms of views per day, and we get lots of comments. And if you read those, and I know there's at least one person who reads them these days, because statistically, my sister said to me recently, who's this woman Kelly? And I went, what do you mean? She went, there's a woman Kelly who follows you on LinkedIn. And I went, show me. She showed me a picture. She said, oh, I know Kelly. I see her at different events, and she's part of a group of friends we're at. She went, statistically, she's almost an average fan. And Kelly's in the room today, because Kelly's never actually seen me present. She's only ever known me from lunchtime lessons and dinners, going out for dinner with a group of really close friends. So we do these lunchtime lessons, we share information, we give it to you to really just get you thinking each day about something. Obviously, in different parts of the world, they're not lunchtime lessons, but we call them lunchtime lessons because they're lunchtime for us. This morning's session is about a 5-step digital retention strategy. And when IHRSA asked me about doing this presentation, they were saying, Paul, there's so much technology now, there's so much information out there, there's so much data being collected, there must be a way of doing retention digitally. And I said, well, look, a lot of the customers that I work with, in fact, all the customers I work with, we include some sort of digital strategy, but we haven't yet ever done exclusively a digital-only approach. So a lot of this will be digital. We'll just stand there for the picture. A lot of this will be, here's a digital version, but think about how you can include your staff or your content. The human interaction has a really good impact as well. So it's not just a standalone digital strategy. Now, I work from a philosophy which is, if you don't get their head, you don't get their body. So my background is not only in the fitness industry for 25 years, but in behavioural psychology. That's what my Ph.D. is in. And on any given day, it's your head that decides. Some of you woke up this morning and went, 9 o'clock? And your body got you here, but your head was making the decision. And it's the same with our customers. It's their heads that make the decision to turn up in our facilities on a day-to-day basis. But what we really want to do, what behaviour do we want to change? We're going to use a create a digital retention strategy. What behaviours are we looking to change? And this is a question I ask all of my customers. They say, we want to improve retention. And for me, retention is about how many people stay, and is measured in months. Attrition is a measure of people, and it's measured in people. And you will help yourself a lot if you separate the two things. Retention is not the opposite of attrition. Because if retention is measured in months, the opposite of months is not people. The opposite of attrition is sales. Sales is measured in people, attrition should be measured in people. The number of people who cancel, the number of people who joined, the gap between the two is your retention. You can extend the gap, you improve your bottom line, your value, and so on. If you had to choose one thing, what would it be? What would you focus on? Anyone got any ideas what you would focus on if you want to improve retention, months of membership? How often they attend? Cool. Yeah, definitely. Yes, sir.
Club experience, I guess.
Club experience. Yeah, you can definitely do that, and you can measure that in a number of ways. And our industry's got good, and I'll give a couple of examples. Anything else? Engagement. I'm going to define engagement in a minute, because I think we use the term engagement very broadly, and I use it broadly, but then I define different types of engagement. But certainly engaging with our customers in a digitally human or in a human way. Someone else said something. Satisfaction. definitely, sorry, there's a joke that always goes through my head when someone talks about satisfaction. Do you want the joke?
Yes.
People say, what should we go for, satisfaction or loyalty? And I said, well, with my wife, I want loyalty. Yeah. If there's a choice between the two, I want loyalty. Satisfied? Loyalty, definitely. Now, let's get this lights up. Now, some of you a few years ago would have seen Neil and Neil do a keynote on the hook model of behaviour change, and that's based on some work by a gentleman called B.J. Fogg, who's up at Stanford, who I was really fortunate to study with. And basically, they're saying there needs to be a trigger. If you want someone to have a behaviour, you need to have a trigger. Now, I'm not I don't really believe in the exercise habit. I think you probably have an exercise habit, but the vast majority of people have an exercise routine. It's something in their life that they do routinely, but they have to think about. When technically, as a psychologist, if we talk about habits, it's something that happens almost without you thinking about it. How many of you, don't answer this. You all cleaned your teeth this morning. Some of you are still up, so I get that was yesterday morning. You all cleaned your teeth this morning. You all went through the same process. You don't think about it. You clean your mouth in exactly the same way. Then you might floss. You might floss first, then you might clean. You might then rinse. When you do these things without really thinking about them, that's a habit. Exercise has to be decided upon. I have to get my gear, I have to pack my bag, I have to drive to the gym. So for me, it's more routine than habit, but we need a trigger. Now, for many of you, that trigger is, well, it's the morning I exercise. Or it's this time of day I exercise. So the time of day is your trigger. Or a phone call from your friend is a trigger. But every behaviour that we want needs a trigger. And if we can think far enough back, I can trigger you to do things in the future. So we get a trigger, that creates an action. Ideally, we want to get some sort of reward. Now, for me, the challenge with exercise is that the reward is delayed. So much of what we have now is instantaneous. Yeah? Now, who has bought stuff off Amazon? It's probably only the people who don't have Amazon in their countries. Okay. And how many of us get frustrated if it's not delivered the next day? Who here is old enough to remember looking through a paper catalogue, ordering something, and having the instructions, please allow 28 days for delivery, and being satisfied with that? Now, our bodies are the same. Please allow at least 28 days for delivery. I train today, I don't get an instant change in my body. So our bodies are much more like farming. We have to plant the seeds now and get it to change over time, not this instantaneous that we're getting so used to. So we need to reward people, and sometimes the reward should be based on, did they visit? Did they interact with us? Are we interacting with them? So they don't have to be the physical reward, there can be some psychological reward. And then investment. Who here is an Apple fan? Who here has ever been given an Android phone and can't even open it? Because Apple designed their software systems in a way, and so do Android, in a way that you get so used to working in one particular way, you invest a lot of time into that, you don't want to give up that time. So while I'm an Apple fan, I have so much time invested in Microsoft's PowerPoint software. I run PowerPoint on a Mac, because going back and learning Keynote is going to take too long. One of the things you need to do in your clubs is get people invested in learning the equipment, your facilities and your services, so that actually changing to something else actually becomes more uncomfortable. And that's the hook one that you guys are going to do. Now this is B.J. Fogg's model of behaviour. It doesn't include attitude. A lot of the work that's now done on behaviour change does not include attitudinal work. A lot of the early work did, and people struggled to create cohesive models. This one, I think, is a very simple model to follow. Across the bottom, it starts with hard to do, and and finishes with easy to do. At the bottom here, it starts with low motivation to do it and high motivation to do it. And the red line just represents a threshold of making the behaviour. So think of it like this. If an exercise is hard to do and you've got low motivation, what's the chance of you actually doing the behaviour? No. If the exercise is easy to do and I have high motivation, it's likely that I will do the behaviour. What we need to do is find ways of making exercises, particularly for new exercises, easy to do or build them up in stages and say, you might only be doing kettlebell deadlifts now, but in 3-4 months' time we'll be teaching you the kettlebell snatch, sing-along snatch. But so show them the path. If you try and teach them something too quick, too early, it gets in the way. And this is the same with digital. If our digital products are hard to navigate, hard to understand, we stop using them. Who's got an app that they on their phone at the moment that they downloaded and stopped using it within 5 days? Almost everybody. There's going to be something if you scroll through. And sometimes, one, it didn't do what you wanted to, but sometimes it's just so complex to understand. The learning process is too much and we don't bother. So, key metrics. Because I've done data science and I'm interested in the measuring of the effect of things, I'm constantly looking to see what are my metrics. This box in this session represents your club. I'm sorry if some of you get upset by me referencing your club as a box and you think I'm talking about CrossFit. I'm not. I just wanted contextually to think, I have a box, we put equipment in it, we put software in it, we put people in it, and we have to manage what happens inside that box. Now, for retention, and I've already described this, the time between joining and leaving is one way we measure it. And the other way we measure it is the time between the first visit and the last visit. Because if you have a system of measuring that is only financial, when they started paying, when they stopped paying, you could be missing out on an awful lot of information, because they could still be paying but not visiting. And you need to know when they stop visiting, or their visits start to decrease, so you can identify an intervention. So we would measure both of those. Attrition, the number of customers who left this month, measured in people, and we also measure it as a rate, so we measure it as a speed that happens per 1,000 customers. I know that sounds very technical. We do it so we can compare clubs of different sizes. We never, ever, ever measure attrition as a percentage. We never do it. Because it's confusing, it's misleading, and often it's inaccurate. And your staff don't care about percentages. If I told you 50 people left, someone goes, oh, okay, they can quantify that. If I said 5% of your membership left, okay. But the way in which often people measure it is just too inaccurate. So when people come to me and go, Paul, we've got 6% attrition, I know they don't know what's going on in their club. We have lifetime value, the length of time people stay within the business. And we do that according to the mean, not the median. So the median, not the mean. So half of our customers stay longer than 9 months, half of them stay less than 9 months. You can't do the mean, the traditional way of doing average with memberships, because you don't have what's called an even distribution. It's a technical thing, you just be aware of that. Engagement, any form of communication between the club and the customer. Signage, emails, texts, videos, human interaction, that all in ways of engaging. And you can build up something like what we call an omni-channel or multiple approach to engaging with customers in different ways. Interaction, predominantly human to human, unless I call it a digital interaction. Now, this slide is from a health club, and I just want to show you because this is the type of thing we measure. Along the bottom is months since joining, so it's not January, February, March, April. It's from the day they joined. So we calculate everybody's length of stay from the day that they joined. Up here is the percentage of people making it through to each month. So, you know, on this one, at month 13, we've got about, what's that, 10% of people making it through to month 13. The scary thing about this slide is that 40% of customers don't make it through to month 2 in this club. So we would look at this and go, okay, this data tells us there's things we need to do in the early phases of the membership to shift this line out. Why is that at month 13? Tell you what I think it is, well I know what this is because I have the data. This is 13 months for the price of 12. And that's when the contract ran out. Otherwise that cliff would be at month 12, not at month 13. So we can pick up those types of things within the analysis. We might also look for the amount of interactions on that. So if someone's interacting with our customers, this was a study we did quite a long time ago, 16-site analysis, 32,000 customers, put one group of 8 clubs, another group of 8 clubs, and did some training. This is the group we did the training on interaction with the staff. This is the club where we did no interaction training. So the club just operated as normal. This is when people talk to you. But not me talking to Kelly because he's my #1 fan, and I always talk to Kelly. And I ignore you because I don't know you. And I walk through the gym and I go, I don't know him, I've got to talk to Kelly. Whereas really what I should be doing is going, I know Kelly, I know she'll wait, let me introduce myself to you. That's what a lot of this training's about and the types of conversations you have. And then this is on the number of interactions over the course of a month. So over the course of 1 month, and this is spread obviously over a 12-month period, no interactions in a month, 1 to 3 interactions in a month, 4 or more interactions in a month. We've captured this analysis from software called TRP. There are TRP people here, put your hands up. There are people in this audience that use TRP, because I know they use TRP, and if they don't put their hands up, because it helps staff understand who to talk to and how frequently to talk to them. This is a graph that probably, or a chart you will not see very often. This is called an odds ratio. When I have data, I can match the risk of someone cancelling or of your members cancelling each month. So from the day of joining, the risk of them cancelling goes up. We know that here in month 2, there's a 10% increase in the chance of cancelling compared to when they joined. If we can get them through month 2, it goes down. But it goes back up again in month 6. So there's 2 humps here. If we can get them through month 6, it drops almost down to a control group. This is people who are spoken to. This is people who have a gym induction. This is people who have no gym induction. The only reason they all go up at the end is that was the end of the study. So the risk was they all did actually finish when we finished the study. So it doesn't suddenly bounce up at the end. But in your club, it might look slightly differently. So when we're analysing this, we're looking for these floods. And then we're looking to say, okay, what do we need to do around either on joining to flatten this out? Point to stop. To flatten it out, and what can we do to change it further on? Minimum requirements for your data management system. This is about digital. This is about collecting data. Here are a number of tiles. Each one of those tiles represent data that I might want to grab hold of. One that I'm really keen on is what we call MAUs, monthly active users. Of my 1,000 customers, how many of them are currently active in my club? How many have visited the club? How many have not visited in the last 30 days? Then I can do things like odds ratios. I might look at visit frequency. If I've got the data, and some of the operators I work with will do, we have the dwell time. What time do they turn up? What time do they leave? So we can work out how long people are spending in the club, and are they being time efficient? And are we being effective in terms of where we've got our staff and where people are dwelling? So we'll create a lot of the key metrics with an individual business. Now, the #1 thing, and this might sound the most boring thing in the world, but the #1 thing to help you improve your retention is access control. Woo! Because if you don't know they're there, you don't know they're an active user. So if you have a system where someone can walk past reception, front of house, go and work out, leave, and not log that they visited, according to you, they're inactive. You need to get control. Now, the way technology is moving forward is, there are a number of ways. The traditional way was the card. How many of you use cards for access control? Not a problem. How many of you have customers that forget cards? Forever. Oh, I've still forgot my card. It's time consuming for your front of house staff, your customer service team, when they could actually be doing something else that improves the service of the experience rather than just a process that needs to happen to get them through. So, cards, very, very typical. Some of you may have memberships, keypads. A lot of the low-cost operators in Europe use keypads. And you have an 8-digit PIN that you put in to give you access control. Some of them, might be using fingerprint scanning or facial recognition. I like the idea of that. It's just really expensive. If you can't use it for something else, it's really expensive. So you need to be able, if you're going to use facial recognition, does anyone here use facial recognition? So, okay, we'll talk later. Oh, it's you. Hello. I was walking through New York on Monday morning, like you do. I live in London. I'm walking down the street, this woman goes, "Are you Paul Bedford?" I'm like, "Yeah." What's that? And have you seen these smart rings? Where your messages come up on a ring. You thought you looked weird looking at your phone. They've got smart rings. For me, this is one of those technologies, just because you can doesn't mean you should. So, but that also, let me go back. But I would say to you, going forward, look for ways of having your access control through your phone. So your membership card, your access control is through your phone. Who's using phones already to do access control? Why is a phone better than a membership card?
So you can never forget your phone.
You don't forget your phone. You never forget your phone. Yes, sir. No, key fobs are fine. I just think with the way that the technology is going, everything's going to go through here. Some of the clubs I work with in the UK and in France, we use wristbands, key fobs, RFID type chips, so they can tell us who's walking into the club. So as they come through the door, their name pops up in front of the house, so we can ring them by name. I like them. I'm just thinking though, for you going forward, whoever forgets their phone.
That's a good idea, but the reason I said people don't get it is needed, so it's
Yeah, no, that's fine. And I'd encourage that as well, because visually, if you keep picking up your keys and your key fobs on there, it's a prompt, a trigger to use the gym. Yeah? You want to collect data, and this is, I'm sorry this is a little bit poor in this slide to see, but hopefully the white stands out. This is basic stuff, usually we'll be collecting this. Got pictures. But that's what it looks like in the background. There are so many different places you can collect data from within your business. You've got physical records from your club management systems, your club relationship management systems, all of those types of things. You've got interaction data in a number of different formats. You've got other types of engagement data. You've got insight data. There's so much coming in. In fact, I've used an expression a lot recently. We are data rich but information poor. It's not that we don't have the data to do the work. We've got the data. We just don't know what to do with it or how to interpret it. Take a picture of that, because that's the one that sort of just lists what's in the last thing. But it's, you know, if I'm doing analysis, if you were to ring me and say, Paul, can you do some analysis on our club or our business? These are the ones I'm going to want. I'm definitely going to want those, required. Desirable, I'm going to want some of that as well. Whether we're doing boutique analysis, or we're looking at pay-as-you-go, whether we're doing a multi-site, multi-country analysis, where we have to have a column that says which country the club is in, not just which state the club is in. We need those types of things. Good, clean records, really, really important. When you can, and this is where I think a lot of the digital stuff is going to go, it's going to be really powerful, is actually what's called the psychographic metrics. It's actually the feelings that customers express. It's their interests, their attitudes, their personalities. Now, there are a lot of software companies now that can pick this up through the things people post on Facebook, the comments they do on your customer surveys, the way in which they actually interact with your staff, if your staff record some of that stuff. But it's simple. We could be asking customers, how do you feel about your workout today? And we know that when they start to get bored with their workout, or the workout does not feel as invigorating, it's actually a trigger for us to say we need to do something, because they're likely to drift away. Now this looks complex, but each one of the big red dots is just somewhere in your club where you will be collecting data. So as they enter the club, the locker room. How many of you have lockers that require scanning or opening or tracking that against someone's membership? Often the key fob type things can do that. So you know when they put stuff in their locker. That would help me with dwell time. Not only do I know when they came in, I can work out roughly how long they stayed in the club. Yeah. When they're exercising, so 3 and 4 are just, you know, did they log in? Are we tracking their cardio training? 4 is, are we tracking their resistance training? Now, not everybody can be there's a proportion of our customers that don't want to track personally. But sometimes we can still capture that data for use to help us understand, do you know what? They've been doing the same program for 5 years. Now, there'll be trainers in this room that are going, oh, give me that customer, give me that customer. If that's the type of customer that actually only ever wants to do the same thing, you'll pick that up in the psychographics. Because they probably come at the same day, same time, stay for the same amount of time, do the same workout, buy the same coffee and leave. And actually, the process is entirely conceptualized for them in doing the same thing. Others like to do different things all the time. Anyone in here capturing things like purchase history in restaurants or shops and pro shops in your business? There's an operator in the UK, sells more cafe latte and makes more money from cafe latte than they do from personal training. And when you go into their clubs, when you see the space they've got across for their restaurants, and the number of coffee machines they've got that will do a cafe latte, they've worked out this. People who use our club, drink what our clubs, drink lots of latte, will make that experience a good one. I'm not sure what it is about their personal training. Again, locker room, when they exit the club, maybe there's social media. There are systems. It's a real shame today's session is today, because I could point you at Reunify, I could point you at Perfect Gym, I could point you at TRP, I could point you at all of the software solutions that were down on the trade show floor yesterday to go and have a look at. But I'll make sure available to you in my notes, if you want the notes and the PDFs of the slides. There are companies you can follow up with and have a look at these different things. Now, this is a bit inaccurate as a diagram, because if I'm collecting data, how many people do I have age on? I want to know this. In my system, if I've got 1,000 customers, do I have 1,000 customers and I know everybody's age? Or do I only know 65% of the customers' ages? Do I only know 40% of the membership types that they have? How complete is the data on my membership database or my membership data? Because if you've got holes in it, it can mislead you. So you're always wanting to try and get as much of this side of it as complete as possible, and where you can this as well. Can you link the feedback to a customer? Is there only one group of customers that ever gives us feedback? So you get what's called information bias, because that's what I call the noisy few. They're the ones that are always saying, we need a cable crossover machine. We definitely need a cable crossover machine. And the only thing you ever see in your feedback is, we need a cable crossover machine. And it's 5 customers. So you need to be able to say, yeah, I know you can do this, but you need to be able to see that. When we do a survey, is it all our millennials that are giving the feedback? Is it all our older customers that are giving the feedback? Because you'll make decisions based on feedback, but they may only represent a very small proportion of your total customer base. Now this is a mock-up. This is what I'm working with different companies, and when I can, they build me this as my dashboard. So depending on which membership management system, I want this as a dashboard. I want to know how many monthly active users I've got. In this example, 71% of the customers are active this month. 47% of the customers have come less than 4 times. 4 times for me is a threshold per month for retention. It's not good enough for physical change. If I'm running a training, if I'm keen on the training, 4 times a month isn't going to be enough to change someone's body. It is enough to keep them an exerciser. So my threshold is I need as many customers as possible visiting at least 4 times per month, which is only once a week. I want to know the lifetime value. My customers are worth 9 months of money. What am I looking to do? I want that number. I want that number to go up at 9. And how many interactions do we have with the customers today? We have 1,000 visits, 28% interactions. We've only spoken to 280 of our 1,000 customers. Now that might be okay if these were all the ones who are at risk of cancelling. It'll be a disaster if these are the ones who come 5, 6 times a week. We have no chance of cancelling, no chance of leaving, because they're just going to train. So I want to be able to see this. Yes, sir?
How do you define active users?
Active users, when they've been in the last 28 days. That's how we do it. So, have you had a massage? That's probably the wrong question as well. Have you bought anything from the Disney store in the last 28 days? No. So, if you were a Disney store customer, you're an inactive. If you had bought, you'd be an active user. So, if you visited the club even once in the last 28 days, you're an active user. I will break that down into a table where I can see you've come once, you've come once, you've come once, you've come 5 times. Who am I going to speak to if I'm on the gym floor, if I've got front house? You 3. If he's come 5 times a week, or 5 times, he's less likely to quit. So I want to know this broken down by less than 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, so I can see who's target. So that's how we do it. And I want it as a dashboard. I want my fitness managers to be able to see, my PT manager. I want the staff to understand what these numbers mean so they can see them. I think there are too many businesses where the numbers are held behind in an office and not shared with the staff. You start sharing with the staff, we lost 50 customers this month. We joined 51 and we lost 50. It means something to the staff, and then you can put in interventions to reduce the cancellation rate. I wouldn't just focus on trying to sell them. Yes. Interactions, we tend to use it using software. So we use tablet type software. I prefer tablet to telephone because anyone walking around the middle staff like this looks like they're on their phone doing the Facebook, and most of them are. So I prefer it on a tablet format or as a screen, and we check in, access control, we calculate their risk of quitting because of their active usership, and then we decide whether we can interact with them or not. If we interact, different types of software do it in different ways, we log it either manually or just tick a box. Yes, sir. What's the best practice worldwide in what? So who's doing this the best? Well, I don't work with every club, so I can't say for every club. I would say the best company that I've ever seen do this is IHRSA. How do you pronounce the name of your company? SC Fitness. Him and his company do better than anyone else I've seen anywhere in the world. Did you went in his session yesterday? Because he basically stood here and went, we do this, we do this, we do this, we do this. He gave you a roadmap. So better be back next year, so I'm sure he'll do it again from what his learning is like. They do it better than anybody else I've seen. And they're not a customer. Well, we've known each other for a while, we share ideas, we talk to each other. Again, I want to see how many interactions we visit against visit frequency. So here, there's 5% had no interactions in the last month. There are 12% have had less than one interaction, even if they visited. So I want these numbers so I can guide my staff on what to do. Then sometimes I also want to risk versus value. Now, not all software systems can do this. But if I have two customers and they're both at risk of cancelling, but one is on my higher paid membership, is spending lots of money in the restaurant, is spending lots of money on personal training, and the other one's on the most basic membership, and I've got one member of staff, I'm going to target my most valuable customer. Now, that may seem unfair, but it's just practical. So I want to see the risk versus value. The challenge is identifying who's at risk. So if these are your customers, some of these would be at risk. In fact, I just changed the slide to highlight one of those as being at risk. But the challenge is like, did he? And those of you whose eyes are a bit like mine, it's hard to see it on a screen like that. This idea of giving 5K TVs, I've only got 5K eyes. That's the person. But you need to be able to see who's at risk amongst the group. So if I look at you, I don't know who's going to leave early. But if I can track data, I can track your previous behaviours, what you did in other sessions, what you've done in my sessions before. It might pop up and go, Aaron's off in 5 minutes. If you want to keep him in this session, you need to go and talk to him now. So the software helps you identify who to speak to and when to speak to them. And sometimes it can also prompt what to speak to them about. Now this is a bit dull, this slide. It's a bit hard to see. I do apologise. It looked great on the map with its backlit. But basically on this side it says the customer behaviour, their behaviour triggers our behaviour. And on the other side, it says our behaviour triggers their behaviour. Together, we need to think about things that we do to get them to behave in a certain way. So, who's been to a session of mine before? Okay. What do you say to people when they leave? What's the thing I bang on about? It's the one thing that will improve your intention if you just did it every single time. No. But thank you, so okay. But it's no. And then thank you. When are you in next? When are you in next? Because as soon as you ask that question, there's what's called a presupposition that you're coming back. Okay? It also acts as what's called psychologically as a pattern interrupt. So people have to stop and think. And as soon as they answer it, they either say, oh, I'm in tomorrow, or I'm in on Wednesday. Now they're verbalising their contract for their next visit. So our behaviour can trigger their behaviour. Sometimes their behaviours trigger our behaviour. They drop the bars. They walk around the gym with no shoes on. And then we walk over and go, excuse me, I'm not sure if you're aware of that rules, but. So we need to see which behaviours are triggering from both sides. We should be triggering the behaviour of visitors. Because you can see it right in the middle. the number one thing I focus on with my customers is, can you get the next visit? Can you get the next visit? And when they stop visiting, they start to think about quitting. Technologies that you can use within your facility, well, it depends upon how your CRM or your software stack is configured. How many of you have got more than 5 pieces of software to run your business? Who has more than 5 pieces of software? Who has 1? Cool. Is that your own software? You use Gymnast. For you, that does everything you do. Cool. Who has got so many? You've got constant contact for your emails, you've got something else for your Twitter feed, you've got something else that you use on Facebook, or you're using an aggregator to do your social media, you've got access control, you've got your membership management system that's slightly different. Some of you will have software that is what I call walled gardens. It doesn't let other software allow it to connect. Yeah? And so then you go, I really like that. And they go, you can't have that. And you go, why did I buy this? It's a sales reduced I didn't buy it. But within the types of technology, within even just apps, we have trainer apps, we have customer apps. And how many apps have you got that you've not used in the last, after 5 days? If they're too complex to follow, they won't get used. Now, I know that from the work I do with my clients, the number one thing customers use their apps for, their club apps for, bookings. Book classes, book tennis courts, book PT. About 80% of the usage of the apps is on that. A very small proportion of it is on exercise programming. Some of it is internal social media constructs. So instead of saying you can go to Facebook, we've built our own social media platform. Yeah, we love that. Because my friends are on Facebook, so I want to post on Facebook. And somebody said, no, you can post in that club. Yeah, that's fine, but also give Facebook a chance. And Cambridge Analytica. I'm always amazed by how many trainers are digitally savvy outside of work, but Neanderthal, as soon as they came through into the club. We want to track workouts with this app. And then in their break, they book a 5-night stay in 7 different countries on it. I'm going on a world tour. You have to train your customers. You have to train your customers. The thing I would do for you, if I'm working with you, if you've got a club app, download it during the sales process. As soon as they join, right, remember now, let's download your app. Let's get it in your phone. The other thing I always say to my customers is, get your club phone number in their phone. Say that one of the things we do is after 10 days, we give you a courtesy call. When the number comes up, at least you'll know it's us. How many of you ignore a number you don't recognise? Yeah? How many of you ignore people you do recognise? At least you'll know it's us that you're ignoring. We've even found that to be useful, that we ring them and they start coming, for the ones who haven't been in, we ring them and they go, I'm not answering that. I've got to tell them why I've not been coming in. I'll just go in. So even that sometimes, but get them to put your club phone number or the number you're likely to contact them in their phone. I'll join you. And then don't bombard them with spammy texts and SMS and buy this, buy this, buy this. So the questions I'm asking customers when I'm doing the digital work is, what behaviours are you trying to change? And usually it's visit frequency and months of memberships. What questions should you ask? How many extra months of membership will this give me? So you'll have lots of people come to you and say, I have technology that will improve retention in your business. How many of you have seen adverts at the moment that go, Great for small group training, great for group X, great for the customer experience, and will improve retention. It's like, it's this caveat at the end of almost every advert, and will improve retention. Just say to them, okay, how many extra months of membership will your product give me? And watch them go into a spin. I run an event, small event in the UK every year, and I have people apply to both speak and sponsor. And I had a woman get in touch with me recently for the third time. She was so stupid. So we've got technology that's 5 to 10 years ahead of every other technology in the industry, in the health industry at the moment. That's a whole problem. She said, we would really like to attend the retention convention and present it to customers. We think it would radically change the experience of customers and retention within clubs. I was like, fine. Send me a link, show me what you've got. Laser cut orthotic insoles. Now, I don't know how that translates for the interpreters, but it's like the inserts that go inside your shoe. But they're laser cut. So they scan your foot and then cut one to fit your shoe and your foot. So my question was this: how many extra months of membership will I get per insole? And if I buy 2 insoles, does that double or does it cancel it out? So when people are trying to sell you software or software solutions, say, give me some examples of how many extra months, because that's the thing we want, isn't it? If it's a retention tool, it's to retain them for more months. Now that might be something like a body fat analyzer. It might be something like this. This was all displayed down in the show yesterday. But there are ways of making this work to be a retention tool. It's not a retention tool if your trainer says that the person comes and goes, I think I'm overweight. So don't worry, we'll do a 3PD body scan. They do a body scan and go, you know you're overweight? Don't worry. You're obese. That's not retaining. So you have to think about the psychometric impact of these things. You collect all this data, but being told certain things affects your values, your opinions, your attitudes. Different software, different equipment manufacturers allow you to link in with different software providers. And those software providers can provide you with data. Now, Precore have a system that's open access. Anyone got Precore in here? Okay, 1, 2. You've got a Precore salesperson in it. They allow to integrate. So they'll allow, training gym to integrate. Sony, the Active system, which is a retrofit to measure the resistances people are using on the equipment. So you don't have to have a technology, you just plug it onto the machine. You've got eGym, which tracks workouts, and net polls, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. Lots of content. You have to decide what's useful to get you the outcome you want. Do any of these things help you get more visits, get people help get the results, or is it just more stuff? Because sometimes it's just, and we've got this, and we've got this, and we've got this. It's like tracking heart rate. Are you tracking it in group sessions? Are you tracking it on the gym floor? Is that of value to your customer? Are you using the data to help their programming to help them get an effective workout? Now, Power Wellness, they're a company in the Northwest. Mostly in the Northwest, thank you. This is fairly typical of their facilities. So, some of you aren't as big as that, but you can see the types of facilities they use. They use technology to help manage. Because if you've got a facility this size, you need technology to help this interaction. Because there could be people scattered all over the place. And they're using the TRP solution. In fact, I believe they're using, well, when I spoke to them, they said we're using all three elements of it. They're using automatic emails and SMSs. They're using actionable member feedback through the Net Promoter Score, and they're using Interact, which is the software that allows me to see who's at risk on the gym floor or in the club and go and talk to them. And they are saying, when I was talking to them on the phone, they were saying, we're having great results with the work that we're doing, but we've got really focused on what we're doing and how to do it. Our staff know actually your main role is to go and talk to people. It used to be, if you saw a member of staff talking to a customer, it's like, you could be cleaning, or what are you doing? Actually, that's the most important role in talking to the customers. They can talk and clean. Here's the Net Promoter on this version, on the actual member feedback. Someone, you ask them a question, Net Promoter score, on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely is it you will recommend this club to a friend or colleague? 0 to 6, no. You give negative feedback. 7 or 8, you're sort of passive. You're neither excited about it nor negative about it. 9 and 10, you're an advocate or a promoter. You actually physically go and recommend things to people. You send this out to a number of people. This goes out, depending on how you set it up, it can go out to people who visited yesterday, this month. It could go out, but it doesn't go out to the same people consistently. So it takes a random selection. So you get various feedback. The way in which we use this, if they get a 0 to 6, someone rings them. I want to know. I want to talk to that person. If it's a 7 or 8, I want to send a message. The way we do it is when we get a 7 or 8, we say to people, oh, thank you very much for your feedback. What would we need to do to get a 9 or a 10? So we elicit feedback, we thank them for it. When we do it, if they give us a 9 or a 10, they tend to promote on social media, they're at raving fans. We use a system where we actually send them guest passes. Because the question was, what's the likelihood that you would recommend a friend or colleague to join this gym? If it's 9 or 10, yes, I'm going to recommend. Thank you very much for your feedback. Here's 5 guest passes that you can bring friends or colleagues and use the club. My take on guest passes should be done with visits, not time, or with a time constraint. Is a 3-visit pass, a 5-visit pass to be used within the next month. 7-day pass is how many times do they come in 7 days when you give a 7-day pass? That's not a fair reflection of how often they're going to use your club. Or they don't get a fair understanding of what your club is like. So when we do it with our customers, we're doing a time-limited pass, but a visit, a certain number of visits they can access. So you might want to use that because you're getting insight, you're getting feedback, and you can action. And there are operators in Europe that are using this, where it's the first thing they check every morning. They're checking this feedback every morning. The CEO of the business is looking at it going, what do our customers say about our business yesterday? What are we doing about that today? Not a smiley face data capture that's read once every quarter. They've probably gone by the time you read it. I'm really unhappy with the colour of the tiles in the showers. Not that you can do anything about that, but they've already done it. Emailing systems, SMS, look, preload, tell people you're going to send them messages, but don't just send them messages for selling stuff. I can show you this a bit on my phone now where there's a low-cost operator in the UK every 3 days. Join now, discounted program. You just scroll and it's buy. No sense of building a relationship, just buy. And the Interact software allows you to talk to customers as usual. I'm conscious of time. Oh, okay. Going to do this. One of my clients has a member of staff called Dawn Wilkinson. She works from home, so she's not even in the club, 5 hours a week. And she phones customers up who haven't been in the last 21 days. And when I started working with them, they said she does these calls called low user calls because that's who she rings. And I said, okay, fine, but we're going to call them something else. And she took me through, I sat with her, and she took me through what she says to people. And one of the things she was saying to people is, oh, we've noticed that you've not been coming into the club. And I said, listen, what that does is in someone's head is the first thing they do is get defensive. Because it sounds like you're judging them. So I said, we're going to change the script and we're going to work on it. Now, I'm not taking all the credit for this because she's brilliant on the phone. We changed it to just being called a courtesy call. Hi, this is Dawn. The club's called Magna Vitae. We're calling from Magna Vitae, and it's just a courtesy call, and I'm just interested to find out how you're getting on. Now, she's got a series of things she's going to ask them. If they talk about not coming in, she talks about it. If they don't mention it, she doesn't mention it. So it has to come out of their mouth first. In September to November in 2018, Dawn made 164 calls to customers who've not been in for 21 days. So we're not letting them get to the 1 month sleeper level, 21 days. How many customers do you think returned? 60? 50%? 164 out of 164. I've had operators this week who I've been in meetings with, big companies who go, we buy Dawn. We just buy Dawn, we just need Dawn. She's got her own, she sits at home, got a line that she rings people on, really happy with what she does. But what she does is, she's got a very nice way about talking to people, but it goes back to what I said before. Customers already have the number in the phone. So when they join, they get the number that Dawn's going to ring from. We tell them Dawn's going to ring you and give you a courtesy call just to follow up, see how you're getting on. Dawn has massive value to this business. Dawn is not allowed vacations, days off. I hear lots of operators say to me, oh, you know, you shouldn't ring customers who aren't coming in. Yeah, you should, but don't leave it too long. You leave it too long, you're trying to, you know, I use an example of a waterfall. You want to save before they go over, not once they've gone over. Once they've gone over, they're gone. Right. Do Coach AI, independent company, uses an app. It is a true artificial intelligence-based app. You get your customers to download it into your phone. They talk to a robot. Your customers talk to a robot. They're told they're going to talk